on the side here. Our next speaker is Tim, who's presenting Emotional Motion. Let's welcome Tim.
Still waiting for that better vision to kick in, but in here now. Have you heard the expression, make a point, tell a story? You heard that?
Yes.
Ken's heard it. Okay, thank you, Ken. I'll pay you later. Make a point, tell a story. One of the best ways to get your point across is to tell a story. So that creates that question, that issue, that problem that might be going on in your mind is, how do I tell a story? How do I pull a story out? You know you've got a story in you somewhere. You just don't know quite where. It's like you put it into a closet, and you're kind of reaching into the closet and trying to reach past all the things. I don't need that, I don't need that. It's somewhere there's a great story. I know it's got to be in here. Everyone tells me I've got great stories, but you can't find it. Unless you're Ken. Now, Ken's a rocket scientist, and as he mentioned in the humble brag stage earlier, he's got tons of great stories. He's got story after story after story after story. So if you're a Ken, it doesn't matter. You can tell stories. You don't even need to pay any more attention at all than what I'm saying. But if you're not Ken, and you've had a challenge with telling stories, and you're not quite certain what stories to tell or how to get to stories, here's something that I recently read about that's tremendously powerful, tremendously useful, and really help you instantly get stories. Once you get stories, you get something to talk about once you're up there. Once you get stories, you discover that you're noticed on stage better. You pay better attention. Once you get stories, you discover that things are alive, easier, and more comfortable. The trick is to create emotional motion. Have you heard that stories are like a roller coaster? They need to go up and down. I'm educating a lot of people today. Stories are like a roller coaster. They need to go up and down and up and down. And here's the secret for getting stories. Your emotions. If you just focus on an emotion, instantly you will connect with a story. Try it right now. Think about happy, just the word happy. Picture happy. Remember a time when you were happy. You see a story starting up here? If you were ever happy. You see a story? Eva knows what I'm talking about. Thank you, Eva. Your money will be in the check will be in the mail to you later. Even if you aren't saying it, somewhere in there there's a story. There's a story starting to roll across your mind when you're happy. You're excited, you're interested. Maybe it was when you were a child and you had your first Christmas. You realized you got free stuff. Maybe it was when you went to Starbucks. It was a very short line. You quickly got up and got your latte and got out. Yes! It was just when you got to get at work today, on Wednesday, and you thought, it's not as cold as it was Tuesday. Maybe that made you happy. Whatever it is, there's a story there. But here's the other part of the story. A story has to be a roller coaster. It's go up, it has to go down. So if you really want to create a good story, it has to be conflict. Another thing you just learned, conflict creates the story. Conflict creates the story. So what's the opposite of happy?
Sad.
Sad. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Happy, sad. The thing about it is you can think of a time when you're happy. There's also a time when you were sad. Usually somewhere after, you can't be happy all the time. So there's this natural up and down to your stories. There's an emotional polarity to your stories. Time when you're happy, time when you're sad. If you just let that story play out, just think about that story, go into it, then you've got something. Now, it may take a while to get back in touch with that story. Remember, it's a deep closet. You've got to get all the way through all the stuff there. Just think about times when you're happy and write down everything that occurs to you. There's a story in there, somewhere. And think about when you're happy. Well, what happened after you were happy? Probably at some time things didn't go so well. And then you had to recover and make yourself happy again. Or, another polarity is anger and fear. You're really angry. And then sometimes you can get scared. You can scare yourself by being overly angry. You done that? Get really, really mad and whoa, what happened there? And another one is love and disgust. Women in love, don't point fingers. You're not allowed. And then disgust, when you just talk, somebody's in love with you and you're disgusted with them and you're trying to be nice about it. There's a lot of great stories just in simply that happening. But it's all about emotional polarity. Happy, sad, fear, anger, love, disgust. It's that interchange back and forth that creates the story. Once you start using this, once you start putting your emotions in motion, you start writing things down, start getting these ideas, dragging out of the closet all those great stories you have, you discover when you get up here on stage, it's no problem to keep people interested. Because stories get people interested. Karen knows that. She tells great stories. And they're great stories because they're emotionally powerful, they're personal, and they really, really connect. And if you've got a story with a point, emotionally powerful story with a point, that's even better. So it's a simple process. All you got to do, picture an emotion. Happy, sad, anger, fear, love, disgust. Write down the story that you got with that emotion. And then look at the opposite of that emotion. How did that happen? How did that occur in the story? Then you go back and forth. Go on that emotional roller coaster. Go on a ride. And then add it to it a point. And if you do that, you'll have powerful, incredible, imaginative stories. They'll pull people in and engage them right from the moment you step on stage. And after all, isn't that what you came in Toastmasters to get?